welcome back to Adventures in the Schoolhouse, and it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and today I have a very special neighbor and friend, Andrea Owen, who is here with us today, and she is an expert on mindfulness as she is a mental health therapist in elementary schools, and it's just such an honor and blessing to have her with us to share the letter M for mindfulness, so we just can't wait to hear her tips and what's on her heart. Welcome, friends. We have a very special guest for you today. I get to introduce my very special neighbor and friend, Mrs. Owen.
Hi there, everyone.
Now, what do you guys say?
Good morning.
Good morning. And Mrs. Owen is not just, you all know her as Merrick's mama, but she's not, you know her, right? But she's not just Merrick's mommy. She has a very special gift and talent. She works at elementary schools talking to kids just like you about their feelings and about being mindful and what's going on in our thinking and in our hearts. And she's here today to share her time and her talent with us. So we are so blessed and so grateful to have her with us to share her heart. So we're today working on the letter F, F for feelings and the letter M for mindfulness. And so she's going to be talking to us about that.
Mimi.
And Mimi and Merrick. And I just wanted to talk about a special reminder first.
And Madison.
Right? Before we dive in. Remember? And manners. Remember? So remember our quiet coyote signal when you have something to share that's on your hearts or on your minds. Please go ahead and hold up your quiet coyote so that everybody's hearts and voices can be heard. Okay, friends? So we have a very important reminder that you, Gray, are loved and you are lovable always, even and especially when you have uncomfortable feelings that come up. And we all have them, right? And sometimes feelings will kind of stop by and just remind us to care for ourselves and to love ourselves and to show kindness and compassion and love to the world, right? All right, so we wanted to talk about our first feeling, and we have all different feelings, right?
So can I see everyone's eyes on me, please? Can I
Thank
see all
you.
your wonderful eyes? Because there's so much you can tell by someone's eyes when you look at them. You can tell so much of what they're thinking inside and in their heart. And so what's amazing about the letter M, because it spells mindfulness. And mindfulness is the practice of understanding how you feel and how your body responds to those feelings. And so one thing that to help you understand how you're feeling is understanding just an array of emotions, and it's the language of feelings. So can everyone look at this little feelings chart? That's called a feelings chart. So when we talk about mindfulness, can we say mindfulness? Mindfulness. One more time. Mindfulness. Mindfulness. Great. And so what do you think this person's feeling? If you look at your chart, sad. How can you tell they're feeling sad, Mimi?
Because their eyes.
Their eyes?
Because their eyes, there's tears in her eyes.
Excellent.
Or
Excellent.
they feel like this.
Yeah, they're kind of feeling sluggish. Their body feels
Sometimes I
tired.
feel sad.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
Me too. Yes. Okay. How about let's jump to another one. What does this person, this little boy?
I know,
Scared. How can you tell
Okay,
he's
quiet coyote.
His mouth. Because he's like,
Yeah, something
and that's
just
why I see
frightened
the
him.
black.
Right.
Yes.
silly. Kind of like this. Thinking.
Okay.
Silly.
Exactly. There might be thoughts that you have in your mind, so you're kind of
Yes,
thinking about
that's
their
what I'm
feelings.
doing.
Now, can you think of a time, friends?
Yes.
Can you think of a time where you felt sad?
Mad.
Can you think of a time? We've all felt that way before, sad or what was the other one? Mad? Have you felt mad? What?
Scared sometimes.
And what time have you felt those feelings, Gray?
When I have creepy dreams.
Yeah, like a nightmare maybe?
Scared of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
a good example.
Yeah, that's a good example.
Sometimes mad.
Right.
So when you're doing this at home, what you're going to do is say, right now I feel, and you're going to point at the different emotion or feeling that you're feeling, and you're going to put it right here. Because as I will remember that all feelings are okay. If you're feeling sad or if you're feeling mad, that's okay. If you're feeling happy, that's okay, because those are emotions that you feel. And so when you think about
I
the...
feel silly sometimes.
Yeah, that's a great
Yeah.
emotion. And so you're going to think, how big is my problem when I'm feeling these feelings? And so is it a small problem? So see right here where it's It's small, medium, or big. So you think, okay, I might be feeling these different emotions.
I got big problems.
Yeah, and so
I always have big problems.
okay, so we think of
Sometimes they're small, sometimes they're big.
yeah,
Mom, remember that time when I kicked Ellie in the face?
yeah, and
She was really
yeah, and so that makes your heart sad. And so since parents are here, I'm going to give you an example. So now we can flip. What's the word we're waiting for?
Flip. Everybody flip it.
So when we get home, you can look at this back page, and to feel better when I will treat myself with kindness. And these are some examples of different things you can do when you're feeling your different emotions.
So friends, sometimes we feel, moms, dads, kids, sometimes we can feel sad, scared, angry, frustrated. Do you think that these feelings and these emotions are just for kids or for everybody? For grown-ups too? Everybody feels feelings, right? No matter how old or young you are. So since we're talking about the letter F for feelings and the letter M for mindfulness, we want to talk about when, like my kids were really little and they would get upset, really upset, and maybe they're angry or frustrated. One of the ways, can we have a volunteer maybe come on up? Emma, would you like to, I saw your hand jump up first. Would you want to come up here with me? And we'll just use this one, Emma. Great job, honey. Can you just turn around right here? And then, thank you, babe. We'll stand right in between us. So, one of the ways that we would, when my kids were feeling upset, angry, frustrated, one of the things we can do is this. And what this is take slow, deep breaths and just to sit with your feelings, right? Just to sit with them. So Emma's holding it up for everybody. Merritt, can you see it? Anders, can you see it? It's slow, deep breaths. So I'm going to have you put it on the spot. Is that where you put it?
Yes, exactly.
Right there. And I'm going to let Emma hold it.
I love
That is excellent, Gray. Thank you for doing your chart. And you're going to get to do this at home. So Emma, sometimes just to slow our breathing down,
Good job,
when we
Emma.
breathe, we bring oxygen, good job, to our brain. And it slows down our heart, and it just kind of helps us relax. So can we practice it really quick? Friends, I'm going to have all eyes on Emma for a second. And I'm going to have her just take a deep breath like this, Emma, through your nose, and blow out my candle. Excellent. One. And one more. Blow out my candle, too. And then last one, deep breath. Blow out my candle, three. Awesome. How do you feel? You feel good? Oh, good. Sometimes that just calms our bodies down, right? All right, my friends, this is a very special chart, feeling chart that we get to take home with us and work on in pulling these little feelings off and placing them. Can you guys give Mrs. Owen a big round of applause and a thank you for her? Can you hug her and a big round of applause? Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much.
I'm just so excited to be here. This is a value that I have, is teaching children emotional literacy. It's such an important skill, and it's not just a 0 to 5, 5 to 10 skill. It's a life just skills that they can take into adulthood and help them become a better person, a better adjusted individual, someone who's just confident with what they want to do in life and how they view themselves. And it begins with mindfulness activities like this at a young age and interventions like this that help them to build their emotional literacy. And so with the basics of emotional literacy and even social and emotional well-being, it's the kind of emotional language 101. And so for them understanding, how do I feel? What makes me feel that way? What's causing that? What is my body doing? What is my brain doing when I'm feeling all these different emotions? And so we started off our activity today with just talking of the basics of just a feelings chart. And so with this feelings chart, we kind of covered, for those who are readers and those that are non-readers, just they could even look at the expressions. And so what is their expressions of the different characters? What are their eyes doing? What's their mouth doing? Is there an actual expression? Is there not an expression? Is there tears? And so each child had a different opinion on just what the different emotions could be. So you could use this at home if the child doesn't know what they're feeling and they're kind of overcome with an emotion. So they could use this chart to say, right now I feel, and they could even do a finger touch where they can identify either the emotional word or the feeling of the expression, and then kind of point to the different location that they want to put it. And once they've identified that emotion, then they could say, and I will remember that all feelings are okay, because it's okay
Right.
to feel sad, it's okay to feel mad. It's just what we do with those emotions. And so we'll talk about that in a minute, about the coping skills when you're feeling different emotions, but okaying those emotions, because emotions are
Right.
okay. We're going to have an array of emotions, and as long as we identify those emotions, identify what's causing those emotions, so identifying the problem and how to solve the problem. So it's a sequence of emotional skills and social emotional skills that they're going to develop, so they get more comfortable with just the different
Right.
arrays of emotions over their life or over their day or what they feel in that very moment.
And being able to express it, right?
Exactly.
So we're never too young to start this, right,
Right.
Drea? I'm hearing that, the earlier the better, right? To start talking about the way that we're feeling and,
Yes.
and being able to identify. And I love that this is pre-literacy and that the kids were able to connect and right away identify with, oh, this person is feeling sad, this person is angry, this person is, stressed. They were able to identify even non-readers. And
Yes.
so I just love that. And they're able to decide, is it a small problem? Is it is it medium? Is it a large problem?
Yes.
And how do I feel? And I love that it's interactive.
Definitely.
So fun, because I just love anything interactive in the schoolhouse. That's a big part of what we do. And I don't know if you want to flip it over.
And so this is the next part of the resource guide.
I love it.
So to feel better, I will treat myself with kindness and so you can go through the different list of coping skills. And so these are an array of different just things that are going to be, each child's going to identify differently with each coping skill. So for instance, list 3 positive things I am grateful for as an example.
I love that.
Yes. And then asking for help. And oftentimes when you kind of use this resource guide, you can kind of land on one and say, okay, ask for help. So tell me about that.
Right.
Who would you ask for help if you needed help? And so kind of adding questions to the things that they identify as something that they can use as a positive coping skill.
That's great.
Yes, another one could be give myself or a stuffed animal a big hug. And so kind of the things that are positive self-soothers. Another thing could be take slow, deep breaths and just sit with my feelings. And you did a great
love
example
that.
of that, of just the importance of pausing, pondering, assessing kind of what's around in your environment, self-assessing, and kind of allowing.
Checking in, right?
Yes.
Just, I was explaining earlier that with my kids when they were small, just I would say run a check, right? Like there was even a song. Just running a check on yourself, checking in and saying, okay, I'm fighting with my sister, I'm arguing, I'm upset, I'm angry. Run a check and ask yourself, am I anchored in love right now? If the answer is yes, if my emotions, if I'm with my words, with my body, little young kids have a hard time keeping their hands to themselves. Maybe they're hitting or they're biting or whatever. But just running a check and checking in and seeing, am I anchored in love with my thoughts, with my words, with my actions? And if the answer is yes, then you're in a good place. If the answer is no, I'm not anchored in love, then thinking about that and like, well, what other choices can I make? What other, right? What other things can I do to kind of deal with my anger, my frustration, my my feelings.
Yes, and that's
So-
developing that self-awareness, which develops relationship skills, problem-solving techniques, conflict resolution, all things, again, that are life skills, not just 0 to 10-year-old skills. These are life skills that they're going to be able to take with them the rest of their lives. And so that goes
So
even to...
essential.
Yes, and it goes to the next piece of that, which I am ready to return. Either, yes, I feel like I'm calm, I'm happy, I feel resolved, or no, I will try another coping tool. So exactly what you were saying. You know what? I might have tried something, but I'm not in a centered place. I'm not grounded. I'm not being mindful. My body is still hot. I'm still bothered. I'm not solving this in a way that has its best outcome.
Right.
And so let me try something else. And so that you're not overcome by the problem, but you're actually identifying how the problem makes you feel and finding a solution to the problem. Because life gets harder over time.
It does.
And the problems get bigger. And so if you can start to build those foundational skills at the
Early.
get-go and early in this early childhood development, then they start to get more comfortable with having to face adversity, which builds resilience, which builds grit, which builds self-esteem, which
Absolutely.
builds self-awareness and their life goals and their dreams, and they can identify that or what makes them uncomfortable, and then boundaries with that. And so there's a
And
difference.
all the communication skills with
Exactly.
others, like you said. Yeah, because it's so much of the focus has been, IQ and right, our intelligence there, but just having that shift to be the emotional intelligence and the emotional fitness, if you will, and wellness. And I love that this fun, interactive tool and resource really for parents as well, the whole family can use.
So this is a great kind of one-stop tool,
I love
especially
it.
from like
Adults
zero
need
to
this. My husband needs this in his car, in his work. He needs this everywhere. I'm not kidding you.
Yes, definitely.
And I love that we can laminate these. We can put them on our fridge at home. We can stick these, you know, on our kitchen wall or in our bedroom on our door. I just such a great tool. I love it.
Yes, and it is. I mean, it's never too young to talk emotional intelligence because it's all in the camp of mindfulness, feelings, sense of self, goals. This is social emotional well-being, so that they are able to do their academic, because they aren't able to do it to their full ability and full capacity and thrive to their full potential if they're not calm and centered with themselves.
Such a good point.
So
Thank you so much for being here, my friend, and sharing your wisdom and your heart. We just so appreciate you. You're such a blessing to us.
This is wonderful.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.